Hey Ben, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. It's nice to finally meet you. Great to
Yeah.
connect. Great to have you in the course.
Yeah.
Tell me
Thanks
what's.
for what's that?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Oh, I was just saying thanks for setting up these phone conversations. It's really cool.
Yeah, of course, for sure. Glad to help. So, tell me what's your biggest challenge right now, and how could I best support you?
I think just getting to that next level. So I took it in June and got a 160. So I just really pushing just to get those last few questions to really get into the upper 160s and closer to 170.
Nice. Any particular weak areas that you're experiencing right now?
A little bit of reading comprehension, to be honest. I feel like I kind of go over time on some of the questions and then I scramble towards the end and then I always miss on that last passage quite a few questions, I feel like.
Sure. And what does your current reading comp approach look like?
Right now, I try to take about 3 minutes to read the whole passage and really comprehend it, and then I'll move towards the questions. And it works pretty well, but it seems like I have to reread quite a bit while I'm getting into those questions.
Yeah. Okay. So, 3 minutes on the initial read, and what's your note-taking strategy like, if any?
Not much, to be honest. I tried highlighting just because that's kind of the best way to, I think, to do it on the digital side, but it seems to take more time to highlight things than it does to actually just, jot something down. So I think I could work on that, maybe to use one of my scrap papers to maybe make a few notes and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if your current approach isn't working, time to change it up. And the
Yeah.
highlighting tool is kind of glitchy, or it's not that precise on
Yeah,
the digital version.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes, you might want to stay away from it. Try no note taking at all, or try minimal note taking on your scratch paper to the side. You've already tried
Mhm.
highlighting. Now try no highlighting and do a handful of passages one way, a handful the other way, and see what the difference is for you.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah. Do you recommend maybe still with the note taking by hand? Would you recommend still going maybe like paragraph by paragraph just to get the main point, or?
Yeah, that seems fine to me. That seems perfectly reasonable, recognizing that paragraphs generally, those distinctions generally mean there's different topics or a shifting in focus. Not always the case, but as long as you keep that in mind and just say, okay, well, I'm using this as a general way to organize my information, my summaries, then that's fine.
Mhm. Awesome. Yeah, another thing that I've been struggling a little bit too is the replace the rule questions on logic games. So I can make the inferences, I can do really well on that. But then when it comes to that one or two questions per section about replacing the rule, I seem to always miss that one.
Yeah, that's a very common question I get. And there's a solution to it, which is drill them. So
Mhm.
in one day, in one sitting, do several games in a row that contain rule substitution questions, solving only that question, meaning you do the setup, you make your inferences, maybe you do the orientation question just to get yourself warmed up, and then you solve only that replace a rule question. That's it.
Okay.
Then you'll start to see the patterns involved in how to approach them. And I have a resource on this that I'll send you, as well as a list of every replace a rule question that has ever appeared on the exam. They started with exam 57 all the way up to present, occasionally appearing twice per exam. So you actually have approximately 30 or so of those to work on. And obviously, you'll save some as part of your full-length exams down the line, but you could do the ones from exams 57 through at least 71 in the short term.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, that'd be super helpful. And then with logical reasoning, there's the questions that are always like taking the same information, what matches this? So like if does that
Yeah, parallel.
sense? Yeah, parallel reasoning. Yeah. Those are always a little bit tricky for me too.
They are. Yeah. And so there's a lot I could say on them. One thing I'll say in the short term for now is look for two specific things: the degree of certainty in the
Mhm.
conclusion of that stimulus argument. And then the other thing is the category of things they're discussing. So are they saying all people versus some people versus some people who XYZ, like some people who take the LSAT? And then you want to match that specific qualifier in the choices as well. That's the more tactical approach. The more theoretical would be simply absorb the general principle or method of reasoning in the stimulus and then look for a choice exhibiting the same one. But obviously theoretical is tougher.
Yeah, that's the way I've always tried it before. And I'm like, this kind of seems like it, but then it's like, well, actually, it was most people know something, so that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So.
Then the other thing I'll say is, don't compare the answer choices against each other. Check them against the stimulus to really see whether they truly match or not. Checking choices against each other is a rabbit hole. It'll take you forever.
Yeah, you're like, this one might be better. Yeah.
Well, it's not about what's better. That's the funny thing, is that it's not about what's relative. And they say in the question stem, choose the best, which one most or which one best. But in reality, typically what you'll find is that for parallels, one matches it very closely. Like it's a virtual carbon copy simply with a different topic. It's very rare that one is very similar and one is only somewhat similar. Or just like for strengthening questions, typically one strengthens, four don't, one weakens, four don't. You might occasionally see one that weakens a little bit, whereas the other one weakens far more, but it's going to be a significant difference.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's about finding that obvious answer. And doing it quickly. I think that's where I can definitely improve with logical reasoning.
Nice. And that's the area to focus. And when are you taking the exam?
End of August, actually. So I've got less than a month now.
Okay. So it sounds like you found some particular weak areas to focus on. I would say parallel reasoning, that's a tougher question type. So you might want to drill those on the side a little bit, but I wouldn't make it a major focus since there aren't that many of them on the exam period. Replace a rule, also not the most common, but it does come up consistently. So drill those on the side as well. I think for you, as out of the three things we've discussed, reading comp is the biggest area to focus because it's an entire section. And actually on the flex, reading comp matters a bit more because there's only three sections and every question's worth the same. So reading comp's actually the largest percentage of questions. So I want you to spend some time figuring out your approach. Do you like summaries? Do you not? How in depth do you want those to be? And do a handful of passages one way, a handful another way to see what feels best and also what gets you the most points.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I'll really drill down. When I was doing prep before, the logic games were kind of fun, so I was always doing those. And then then I could do the logical reasoning, wasn't too bad either, but I just struggle a little bit with like just sitting down and doing reading comp over and over and over again because it's so much verbiage and concentration. So I got to just do it, I guess.
Yeah, just buckle down and do it. You'll be done in less than a month.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, I'll definitely do my best. Is there any other advice, like general advice for taking the flex or anything that maybe I haven't heard yet?
Yeah, I've got a ton of resources specifically on the flex. So I'll send you my flex FAQ. I've also got flex lessons inside the course. So I've done a ton of general Q&A covering the basics on there. Right. If you ever have any specific questions, definitely reach out. But I'd say for you, at least at this point, make sure you're doing your practice tests online from LSAT.
Yeah, I mean, those are the major questions I had for you, and I don't know what else to ask at this point.
No, that's great, Ben. Well, please keep in touch and let me know if you need anything moving forward. I'm happy to help over this next month. And so just give it your all. You'll be done soon.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time, though. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to getting my score up. So.
Fantastic, Ben. I'll hope to see you in class soon.
Awesome. Have
a good one. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.